live? All right, guys. We're finishing things up here.
We're alive?
We're live. Larry, we're talking to the Facebook world right now. We got the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. As everybody knows, we're down here in lovely Orlando, Florida, your home.
Yeah.
And you've treated us gracefully. We've had beautiful weather, but this is it. We're wrapping things up here with the living legend, Larry Zbyszko, doing a Sign It Live, and then my whole team's packing up, and we're headed back to Charlotte. But
I'm proud of you guys.
But Larry, we
Probably
appreciate you coming.
First time on Facebook, because I don't do social media. I still got the razor phone.
We saw. We were looking back at your Twitter, and it looks like you hadn't made a tweet since April.
Yeah,
Larry.
I wouldn't know how to tweet.
Well, I'm sure Larry's going to be thoroughly entertaining. We had the pleasure of spending about an hour with him so far doing a signing. Amazing stories. Just I love to hear.
Yeah,
classics.
Just looking at these old pictures and the memories that come back are classic.
Unbelievable stuff. And today, Larry brought. I just love it. Larry, tell us about these.
You know what? People ask me if I have anything to, and I didn't. And I never had a lot of stuff to begin with, but never saved it in the old days. And these trunks with the Z are probably 30 years old or so, and I didn't really know I had these left. And I was kind of embarrassed about these because when the WWE put me in the Hall of Fame, they ask if you can send something and they can put it on display. And the only thing I could find was this, the old tights with the original Z on it. But, so I sent that to them, and that was hanging up. Like everybody had a bunch of stuff. Larry Zbyszko, one pair of ass pads out. But that is the last thing I have that will probably wind up in the garbage when I croak, when the kids throw all my stuff out. And I'd rather have a fan have it, because it...
Yeah, it's good. Well, undoubtedly, I'm sure it's going to go. It's going to go to a good home.
But I really don't know what to do with it, and I'm never wearing it again.
No, I don't know. You look pretty good. I think you can go one more.
You know, I could go one more, but God, I'd have to hurt the guy quick because the wind isn't what it used to be. It's really amazing the shape you have to be in to do what wrestlers do. And
you're really close to it now. You're still involved with WWE and the Performance Center. You're still passing on some knowledge to the kids today.
Yeah, I lucked out. They opened a PC 7 miles from my house. The Full Sail is 8 miles away. So, and I got a good relationship with them. It's a great company. Guys are great to work with. And if I see someone that I say, oh God, this guy is going to be called up and do something. I throw my 2 cents in and try to help them out a little bit. So it gives me something to do. Because it's, it's a brutal business, and the stuff the guys do today, I mean, is a dangerous stuff. I saw that ladder match on the pay-per-view.
Oh, right.
With AJ and Sammy and, oh my God, I can't, Jeff Hardy, and I thought for sure one of them was going to get hurt. I mean, it was brutal, unbelievable.
It was. Well, certainly they recognize how important you are to their history. I mean, you got the ring.
I got the ring.
Brought the ring.
Oh yeah,
there you go. But Larry, so how this works is a lot of people have already purchased when they went to highspotsauctions.com. They've already went to the website. They've made their choice of the picture that they want.
Oh.
And what we do is we printed those out and we'll sign these for you live on camera. So if those of you would like to join us, you just go to highspotsauctions.com. We have some great photos. Larry can maybe tell a little more about them, but I want to start off with first this picture here. We did 11 by 17, modeled after your Hall of Fame artwork. So it's 11 by 17. Beautiful signature.
Yeah,
Larry signed a couple for these off camera. Looks gorgeous. We have this one here with, we call this one signed in corner, obviously beaten up on Bruno Sammartino. Got this shot here with the Western States Championship. People that watch WCW recognize your run as Western States champion. How about this one? You were telling me a great story about this one.
Yeah, that one was interesting because I kept the nunchucks in my bag because people were trying to kill me, and you could get it through the airports. But I just used them to warm up. They were the heavier wooden ones, and I'd be in a big shower room, and I'd be swinging them just to loosen up before the match. And I never planned to even, the karate gi, but Vern Gagne walked by one day and saw me in the shower doing this, and he goes, what the hell is that? And I said, what is it, nunchucks? And I told him the story. He goes, that's the new stuff I'm talking about. And I go, oh my God. The next thing I know, there's a Japanese guy, Mr. Go, he flew in from Japan. And so I took my old gi out and said, oh, what the heck? And then he had Bockwinkel dressed like Indiana Jones with the hat and the whip. And then Greg Gagne popping out of the water with a knife in his mouth. He was Rambo. And so Vern was trying to compete at the, but
Right.
it was interesting. One time, Ole saw me swinging those things. And Ole says, let me try that. And Ole takes it, swings it, and throws it through his leg underneath, and it came up and hit him in the back of the head. And he almost knocked himself out. He's staggering.
There's a bit of a skill involved to swinging those nunchucks for
Yeah,
sure.
I know what you're doing.
We also have this one, Larry in the ring pose. This has been one of the popular ones in advance. Larry taking one knee in the ring there. And then this one, which also brought back some memories for you. How about
Oh,
this
yeah.
shot? Just surrounded by a group of legends with Lou Albano, Grand Wizard.
That was a classic. That was back in 1980. But to me, I always loved that picture because it had the three managers with it, and they were all characters. I might go on for hours about Captain Lou, and he was in a lovable way insane.
So these trunks, which will be the featured auction item, we'll actually put these at 2 o'clock. Right?
Okay.
2 o'clock on the
If
hour.
anybody wants
We'll go ahead and start the auction on this.
That is
I'll
the
give
last.
This is it. This is the last ring-worn piece that you'll ever find, unless he gets back in the ring and
No.
makes some new ones. No. All right, so we'll pull those to the side, and then just two things that I'll show you guys. We'll do these. Will be pop-up auctions. We have some original inserts from programs here, from WWF inserts. And when we get to them, we'll talk a little more about them. I don't want you to look too far ahead on these, but
okay.
these are from 1979 and 1980 that we bought from a private collection. Somebody at this, obviously you're at the top of the cards here, so it'd be kind of a neat piece to share with the fans. But let's go ahead and get into some of these. These are.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? All right. Let's see. We're gonna start with Andrew Ferguson in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Ontario.
All right. So we'll start with the Ninja.
What color pen here?
Well, let's go blue on this one.
Okay.
Sometimes they want you to put two Andrew.
Two
Andrew.
Two Andrew. And that's it?
Well, it's two Andrew, AWA champion.
Okay. Official.
There we go. Two Andrew, AWA champion. Andrew also picked up this
The
great photo,
classic.
and he's just wants you to write two Andrew, WWE Hall of Fame 2015.
Two Andrew.
All right.
There you
there we
go, buddy.
Andrew, there you go. And Andrew asked the question, and I kind of already asked this for him, are you involved with any training going on at NXT?
Well, not really training. I mean, in terms of being one of the coaches, but I do stick my 2 cents in and watch the new guys, and if I see something, I can pull them aside. And Matt, who runs it's a great guy. Sometimes I might go down and spend some time in the ring with the guy or two guys and show him some things. So, yeah, I stick my 2 cents in, and I get a kick out of it. So.
Well, I joked off camera, you should be teaching an autograph class, because some of the autographs I've seen from some of the kids this day,
Yeah, I never
they
would
need
have.
you to teach them how to sign a beautiful signature.
Never would have read Drew's.
All right, next up is Tony Aragon. I'm gonna sign this one in gold.
Gold, okay.
Yep. We got that.
To Tony?
Well, no, he wants you to write science over brawn. One of your catchphrases there. Science over brawn.
Let's see if I can get this in. To Tony. How do you spell science?
S-C-I-E-N-C-E.
Okay. N-I-C-E, there's a name. To Tony, silence over
brawn.
Over Braun Strowman. There you go, buddy.
Can you put a W on that one? It's brawn. It's not Braun Strowman, but W-N. Like,
Oh, W-N.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
there you go. All right, Tony. Nice autograph. Appreciate it. He's in Santa Fe, New Mexico. All right, next up we have Michael Depaulo. Let's see. Let's stick with gold on this one.
Okay.
Just to Michael, all the best.
Let's see, get this in. There you go,
Michael.
Mike.
Michael Depaulo lives in Oceanside, California. He's asked the question, would you be open to appearing on AEW Dynamite? You still watch the shows, right? You're
Well,
familiar
you know
with
what?
AEW.
I haven't seen too much of that because that's on a Wednesday and it's opposite NXT, and I've been kind of fast forwarding through some of them, but I really don't know. I mean, I got a real good relationship with the WWE.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin that.
And I don't know what I would do with AEW because I'm too old to get near the ring. I mean, the only thing that, you know, when I hear Jim Ross and I hear Tony Schiavone, it's very nostalgic because I started with Jim Ross and them, and then me and Tony with the Nitro.
Of
And
course, everybody remembers that.
so that would be good. But who know? I don't know.
All right, and this is my bad. I want to make sure Michael gets. Could you rewrite this one? I should have told you. He spells it like the A-E-L. So if we could just write Michael A-E-L.
So I misspelled it.
Well, you didn't misspell it. It's about 50-50. I should have told
Oh,
you.
is it?
Yeah. Some people it's A-E-L, but he wants A-E-L.
Okay, because my
Your
my first kid's name is Michael.
so A-E-L. Like
A-E-L. My bad.
no, my bad.
Okay, to Michael.
All the best.
I just call him Big Mike. Huh? There you
All right.
go.
Since it's my bad, Michael, I'll throw in the misspelled Michael on my own dime. How about that? There we go. All right, this one's for Justin Drysdale, also in Toronto.
Toronto.
He just, let's see, actually we got two for him. All right, so the first one just wants your signature.
Just a signature?
Just your signature, yep. Actually, he bought three. All right,
There's one with just a sig.
one more with just a signature. All right, and then he actually wants one with where you write the living legend and then your name. Let's go ahead and switch out that one.
The living legend.
Yep. It's for Justin Drysdale, Toronto, Canada. And then,
Shit.
no, you're good. And then just put Larry Zbyszko right there.
Okay, that's good enough? Okay.
Yeah.
I almost ran out of room at the very end with the D.
You got it in. I see
Okay.
it. There you go. Living legend. There we go. So we got two for Michael, three. Awesome. All right, next one is Daniel Bryant. Bryant's not Daniel Bryan.
Okay,
Not
you
Daniel
faked me
Bryant.
out for a
No.
second.
Just your signature.
Just a signature.
Just write Right, Larry Zbyszko. He's in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Oh, okay. I remember Waterbury. That wasn't far from New Haven, where me and Grillo used to start.
There we go, Daniel. Let's see, the next one up here, we have Ken Hamblin in Washington. We have, he wants you to write to Ken and Tanya.
To Ken and Tanya.
He said, and I asked after that if you could write my favorite Spudheads.
Must have been all AWA fans.
Yeah.
Favorite Spud Heads. Tell you a story how I
Maybe put the
came
signature
up
on
with
that.
that.
So, yeah, how did you come up with that?
Well, I was supposed to be on some local TV show in northern Minnesota one day to do something, promote a town. And when I drove my butt off to get there, there was nobody there at the station, no one there at the stores. And I'm going, what the hell? I mean, it looks like they evacuated like the town. And there was one little receptionist there, and I went, well, I was supposed to do a show. What's going on here? There's no one here. And she said, well, they're talking about there might be a freeze tonight, so everybody had to run home and cover their potatoes. So what? Bunch of spudheads, and then that's how that started. Cover your potatoes so they don't freeze.
There you go, Ken. Ken also asked, what year did you wrestle in Vancouver, British Columbia?
Oh, God, that was at the beginning. I started a little bit around Pittsburgh, and but Bruno wanted me to get some more experience on the road, because back then there was no schools, no training centers, hardly any gyms. So he sent me out, I think I was out there for about 6 months, and I remember driving the Ford. So that was like 1973.
Okay.
And I was up there for about 6 months or so, and wrestling guys, and picking up the trade. So then when I went back to the WWF, I knew that that's how you learned in the old days. You got in the ring and did it.
Mm-hmm. All right, great question. And this one's from Matt Hove. Matt lives in Hawthorne, New Jersey. He just wants your signature.
Okay, that's easy. Thanks, Matt. I can do that.
Pretty good at it.
At least you can read mine on my Drews.
Yeah, I may have showed him a Drew McIntyre autograph off camera. Asked him if he could identify.
You should come up with like a thing on here where you can hold up and say, if you can name this signature, you win a free car.
Some of those. All right, this one's for Anthony Militek in Fort Lee, New Jersey. He wants you to write to Anthony, I saved Monday Night Nitro, living legend.
Okay, to Anthony?
Yeah, we'll start with to Anthony.
To Anthony.
And then I saved Monday Nitro.
I did. And sign it.
And then put living legend and then your signature. Maybe you could put, well, you could probably.
Yeah, I can put it in here.
Living legend and then your signature.
Oh, that'll fit good.
Yep. Got it all in, Anthony.
Got it in there.
Anthony's asked, do you watch AEW? Are you familiar with the product?
Well, you know what? Every Monday, me and a friend of mine who's one of the coaches at the PC, we get together, and he's got a couple of autistic kids. They love me, and it's become a ritual like the last 7 years or so. I go over to his house, we hang out, we watch Raw,
Okay.
so we know what's going on. And but then after watching Raw, Wednesdays, they got the 2 on, and I have them taped, and I kind of fast forward through them. Mm-hmm. So I watch a little of this, and I watch a little of that, but that's about all I can take for 1 week.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot of,
There's a lot of wrestling on, and all I can say is, both leagues, and it's kind of an interesting time for the business, because the generation, you know, The Rock's gone, Cena's gone, Undertaker's gone. So it's really an era where they need to make, you know, a new Austin, a new
Right.
Goldberg, and both leagues, you know, are in that situation. So it's going to be interesting, and we'll see who pops up soon as, you know, the new biggie. So.
Yeah. It's certainly a new era. We're going
It
to
is.
see who leads us in the new era. Now, this one is for Vinay Mehta. If you could just put your signature, no personalization, just Larry Zbyszko.
I can do that.
Vinay is one of our artists here that contributes to a lot, and Vinay's going to see a lot of his artwork that was signed this weekend. Here we go, Vinay. Thank you so much. All right, next one we have Ashley Ward. Ashley has specifically asked that we sign this in a gold paint pen, so we're gonna.
Gold.
We usually don't want gold paint pens. We don't like gold paint pens. They leak everywhere and things
Oh,
like that.
okay.
But do your best. Just signing Larry Zbyszko.
That's it?
That's it. All right. Well,
Looks just like the other one.
You're a pro. I know. It looks just like a
That
Sharpie.
worked good.
Sometimes it leaks, but there you go. Ashley signed in a gold paint pen per your request. I agree. It looks just like the Sharpie. All right. Next one is Robert Sustaina in Bryan, Texas. Let's see. Bryan wants.
And now that you got it in my mind about watching these wrestling shows, I was going to say something about, I mean, the super athletes, you know, both leagues. But and the stuff they're doing, I mean, I'm cringing because they're really doing dangerous things. I mean, I'm really, you know, proud of them athletically, but I'm really surprised that more of them aren't hurt.
That's true. All right. Now go to Robert.
To Robert.
And they ask you to write, "Long live Larryland."
All right.
And then just WWE Hall of Fame.
WWE Hall of Fame. 2015.
All right. And let's go ahead and put the signature there too.
Yeah, all look good in gold.
There we go. Now, Robert, being from Bryan, Texas, has asked, favorite memories of wrestling in Texas?
You know, it was rare I wrestled in Texas, but I was there one time that I remember and never forget. It was one of the biggest honors I ever had. I was in Texas and I wound up having a match with a guy I didn't know named Scott Casey, Cowboy Scott Casey. And me and Scott went out and we really had it was a hell of a match. He was good. But when I got back after that match, Lou Thez came up to me and he said, "Larry, you're the greatest wrestling heel I ever saw." And that was one of the biggest compliments I ever got.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, that was one match I had in Texas. I probably had more after so many, but I'll never forget the one I had with Scott Casey there.
What a compliment. What a compliment.
Yeah, that was...
All right, this one's going to be, he wants you to write, this is for Frank Ferraro in Schenectady, New York. He said if you could put to Frank, one living legend to another.
To Frank?
To Frank, one living legend to another.
I met Frank Sinatra in New York once.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's a funny story, too. Okay, to Frank from one...
One living legend to another. I want to remind everybody, if you'd like to join us today, you can go to highspotsauctions.com. Pick out one of these 5 beautiful promos, or this 11 by 17 art print, graphic print. At the top of the hour at 2 o'clock, Larry's going to be auctioning off his last set of trunks.
Oh, if anybody wants the old things, but it's
I'm
classic.
sure we're going to have a few people.
To another. Okay, to Frank from one living legend to another.
And then just sign your name.
Okay.
So, Frank Ferraro, we've signed it live for you.
Looks good.
Looks fantastic, Larry.
Fellow legend.
All right, next one, we have Jonathan Marcollier just to Jonathan, and he spells it with a Jon. Jonathan is
To Jonathan?
Yep. Jonathan.
Jon.
A
T
T
H
A N.
A N.
Yep.
Okay. And you just sign my name?
Yep.
Okay.
Jonathan's from Lowell, Massachusetts.
Lowell, Mass. Oh, God, in one of the old stomping grounds. You know, the funny night I met Frank Sinatra, he's doing a concert, and him and Bruno knew each other, and Frank liked him. And Frank's right-hand man was Jilly Rizzo, had a little club in New York called Jilly's. So Bruno was invited to come see Frank. So me, Bruno, I think Tony Parisi went down to Jilly's. Make a long story short, I met Frank, he walked by, I was surprised how short he was. But the place was crammed because it wasn't big and there were some stars there. And I'm standing there and this little old guy, I mean little old guy, looks like a skeleton in a suit, came walking up to me with an empty roll of toilet paper with matchsticks taped around the end. And this little old guy goes, "Do you know what this is?" And I said, "No." And he said, "This is the Polish flash of light." And everybody cracks up. The whole place laughs. So I go, "Oh, well, you know why Italians don't have freckles? They slide off their face." Not a peep. And Bruno's behind. I can see him behind. He's going, like to shut up, you idiot. So the guy goes, and they walk out. And I find out the little old guy I told the Italian joke to was Carlo Gambino, the Godfather, the one they made the movie about.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm sure the FBI got a picture of me walking out of Jilly's that night.
All right, next one we have here is, add one here. This is going to be for Bryan Santoro in Leola, Pennsylvania. Just put to Bryan. Let's, if you don't mind, let's switch colors. Let's do a blue on this one.
Okay.
Blue will look better. So, to Bryan, Brian. He said, if you could add, you won a trip to Larryland.
To Larryland. And say my name?
Yep. All right. And Bryan, I'm sure you've got to ask this question once or twice. When you think back on your career, what do you consider to be your greatest moment in wrestling?
My greatest moment?
Yep.
I've been lucky to have a few, but I mean, I guess the greatest moment to me was the match with Bruno at Shea Stadium, because when you look back over the eras, that marked like the end of the old school era. And it was, for its day, for its time, it was like unheard of and super huge, but you know, history of kind of, but then right after that, the old school era ended and a new era began with nationwide cable and pay-per-view and you know, Bruno was done and so that one was kind of like a historic marker of the end of an era.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
It's hard to beat that.
That's the one I would have picked. All right, so this one's for Eric Koffold. So if you want to just split to Eric, it's E-R-I-C.
To Eric, when he spells that different. E?
E-R-I-C.
I see, okay, good. Some use a K.
And if you just write the living legend, Larry Zbyszko,
I can do that.
just add the Hall of Fame 2015, HOF 2015. There you
Super.
go. Beautiful. Eric, we signed it live.
Which is much better than signing a dead.
All right, next one we have is the Western States. This is for Austin Pierce. He's asked you to sign to Austin.
Is there a, what,
To Austin.
to Austin?
Yep.
A-U-S-T-I-N?
Yep, that's right. And you put the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Austin lives in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, a little AWA country.
Oh, yeah.
Put your signature right there. But what he really wants to know, Larry, is what was in Baby Doll's mystery envelope on Dusty?
You know what? That was a good question for this belt, because me and Baby Doll were involved in getting my hands on this belt. And it was just an interesting situation. I never found out exactly what was going on. Baby Doll had some pictures of Dusty and was going to blackmail him with them somehow. But then there was an interview, and Baby Doll, the Crockett's were kind of pushing her to give Dusty the kiss of death, to grab him and give him a big kiss, right? But she went out and badmouthed him and then walked off and didn't give him the kiss of death. Because she was married to Sam Houston, and he was jealous and freaking out. So anyway, because she didn't give Dusty the kiss of death, she was fired, and the Western States got the kiss of death. And I retired that belt, too.
All right, next one's up from Mitchell Fredrickson. He's got the picture of you beating up on Bruno.
Oh, poor Bruno.
Well, so this one's a harder picture to sign just because of the color. So if you wouldn't mind putting the blue maybe on somewhere on the skin tone
Okay.
there.
I got plenty of chest.
You do, big chest to sign there. Put to Mitch,
To Mitch.
a living legend.
M-I-T-C-H?
That's right,
To Mitch.
the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. There you go, Mitch. Mitch wanted to let you know he loved your commentary on Nitro. Big fan of your work.
Well, thank you. I mean, I really enjoyed doing it, too. It was, I was lucky. I was just blessed with the gift of gab.
All right. First time we're going to put this in front of you. Beautiful 11 by 17.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
You'll take that with the
gold
silver.
one?
Yep, the silver.
Silver or gold?
I'm sorry, gold, my bad. Put the new living legend.
That's it?
Nope.
No to anybody?
He didn't want a two, just put the new living legend. And then Hall of Fame 2015. Hall of Fame 2015. And then your signature. So this is from Michael Oliver.
Room for that. That's good.
Michael Oliver, Newport News. We signed it live. Michael asked, did you fear for your safety after the attack perimeter?
You know what? I didn't at the very beginning, but after the TV showed and people saw it, I drove to one town, and as I got out, all of a sudden, you know, rocks and bottles and stuff were flying at me, and I ran in the building going, holy cow. There was a riot that broke out that night, and then when I went back out, my car was ruined. I mean, the lights were smashed, windows smashed, keyed up, mirrors were hanging. I'm driving, you know, back down the highway in my new Cadillac that just looked like it went through a, you know, war. But then it got scary because I used to have to hide in trunks to get driven into a building, or I'd park my car down the road and meet somebody, you know, jumping. Sometimes the back of a police car, and then I'd have to put my match on like second to last so I could just get the hell out of the building. But there was a couple times, one time I walked out and boom, someone took a shot at me, and the bricks above my head you could feel. You know, in the riots, I got stabbed in the ass in one show. I mean,
You actually did get stabbed. I heard there was a lot of
yeah, and it was weird because I got stabbed in the ass, and I turned around, and I was going to grab the guy and hit him because I didn't know I was stabbed. It felt like someone kicked me really hard in the ass. But then when I went to hit him, he dropped, and the cops that were around me grabbed him and dragged him out. So I'm left all alone now in the mob, you know. It wasn't set up with like it is today with the barriers. And I'm going nuts trying to get back to the room. And I get back to the dressing room, and Scolin's playing cribbage with Andre or something. He goes, well, it sounded good. How'd it go? You know, I'm like, yeah, it was good. Someone kicked me in the ass, and I put my hand here to rub it, and I went, what the hell is this? And I pulled out a little skinny blade about yay long.
Oh, wow, it got wedged in there.
Well, back in those days, they had them like little, I think it was from Japan knives, like a little wooden stick, and the little skinny blade would go in the stick. Yeah, so the worst part was going to the hospital after that to get a tetanus shot.
Right.
That was the scariest part.
All right, this one's for Chad Matthews. He just wants you to sign it. Living legend Larry Zbyszko.
I can do that.
And if you could just write WWE Hall of Fame 2015. And Chad has asked what it was like working with Steven Regal.
Well, Steven Regal, it was, to me, it was a pleasure. It was good. I remember I was doing the broadcasting, and then there had this new guy popped up, you know, Steven Regal from England. And Steve was a good wrestler. He was an excellent wrestler. But we were already in the days of where guys weren't wrestling well like we used to. I mean, they invented the clothesline, and everybody was clotheslining and running around, and it was different. And Steve Regal could just stand there and, you know, get heat. People would. Yeah. And I'm looking at the guy going, you know, let me do something with this guy. So I got out of the broadcast and got involved with a little feud and had a couple matches with Regal. The first one went 27 minutes on TBS. And I did it on, you know, purpose because I wanted the guys to see that you could have a hell of a match without running around doing clotheslines. And we were sick of the clotheslines in '95, you know. And they're still going. But anyway, Brian Pillman was running around the back of, you know, the dressing room going, hey, they wrestled 27 minutes and not one clothesline. So I kind of did it. I just wanted to kind of show the guys, yeah, come on, guys. In fact, when I used to look at the card, I'd set the over-under for clotheslines.
Really?
And guys would place bets. I'd go, oh, the Public Enemy, the Steiners, and oh, that's at least 20 clotheslines right there.
So now we do that for super kicks.
Yeah, the super kick, running into a corner.
All right, Brandon Wilson, you're up next. I'm going to put this one, if you could put to Brandon.
To Brandon.
Brandon T. Wilson.
Okay, to Brandon.
Brandon. Can you put living legend Larry Zbyszko?
I can do that.
There we go.
That's a good one. Oh, good
that
there.
looks great.
God, I haven't changed.
There we go. Next one up is for Donnie Casamano in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo.
All right. You can write to Donnie. That's D-O-N-N-I-E.
Ah. Otherwise, you would have got the Y. D-O-N-N-I-E.
You could add the living legend and then Larry Zbyszko. All right. Gorgeous as always there, Larry.
There you go.
There you go. For Donnie. Donnie's asked, any memories performing in Buffalo, New York, his hometown?
God, to be honest with you, Donnie, I remember being there because I remember, you know, looking at, you had to go to Niagara Falls and watch that, and it's a beautiful sight. But to be honest with you, Buffalo wasn't a regular town. And I remember being there mainly because of the falls. But I really don't remember who I wrestled or what kind of era it was. It was the 70s or 80s. I really don't remember.
Okay.
One of 10,000 matches.
Oh, I know. They all run together after a while. All right, I want to put our first auction up for bids. Right now, this is a lineup card. This was inside of a WWF program. This lineup card is from January 14th, 1979, New Haven, Connecticut, New Haven Coliseum.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they slid you down off the main event spot to get you out for your safety, but you're basically at the top of the card here working against Spiros Aragon.
Oh, Spiros Aragon.
Yeah.
He was an interesting character. Big guy, I mean, good guy, tough guy. It's a quick story. I remember he went back to Greece one time and went up, caught a guy in the room with his wife, grabbed the guy and threw him out the hotel window. And they weren't on the ground floor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Other matches from this card, Ivan Putski versus Ivan Koloff with Chief Jay Strongbow as the guest referee.
Oh.
Also have Tony Gurria versus Chief Peter Maivia.
Oh, God, The Rock's grandfather.
That's right. So we're going to do this as a bid. We'll do a couple more autographs while we do this, but want to give some time, some recognition to this piece. It's certainly got some age to it, being it's from 1979. This is a one-of-a-kind piece for us. And once you are the winning bidder, we'll send you an invoice immediately. You'll pay it, and then we'll sign this live for you. We'll probably suggest signing this with a regular ballpoint pen, because this paper is kind of something like this. If we put a paint pen or a Sharpie of this, it's certainly going to bleed through it. But I will say, if you are the winning bid and you want us to sign it with a Sharpie or a paint pen, we will follow your instructions. Just our suggestion, so it looks a little better with this. But all our bids today start at $5. Certainly it's not going to end there, but $5 starting bid for this lineup card from New Haven Coliseum. So
God, that's old.
I'll pull this to the side, and we'll do a couple more of these signatures that people have purchased online. Let's see, next one. All right, this one is going to be to Brian Hetford. Take that blue pen out. Bryan is B-R-I-A-N.
To Bryan?
Yep.
What else does he want? Just so I have room.
Just to Bryan, and then Larry Zbyszko.
Okay. To Bryan.
A reminder, everybody, if you're just joining us and you're like, what's going on here? What's
Yeah,
Larry
right.
doing? You can go to highspotsauctions.com. There we go. Hold that up for Bryan. Bryan, beautiful signature. Beautiful
It's
picture.
readable.
It is readable. What we can say about some of these others, we got this art piece here that you could pick up, 11 by 17. Got this picture where you're beating up on Bruno. Picture here, your time as Western States Heavyweight Champion. Time in AWA with the Ninja. We told that story earlier. In-ring pose, little famous Larry pose there, pointing to that huge broad chest. There we go, and a picture of classic Lou Albano, Grand Wizard, classy Freddie Blassie, and
that's
of course,
a classic.
you're looking California in that picture, Larry.
Yeah, blue jeans and the sport coat look.
Looking good. All right, next one we have is for Tigay Schaefer from North Arilla, Illinois. He's one that's the picture of you beating up on Bruno. He just wants you to sign your name. No personalization on this one.
Just sign my name?
Yep.
There you go.
There we go.
See that easy.
Yep, beautiful. Tigay Schaefer in Illinois. There you go. We signed it live.
Illinois. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, the south side of Chicago.
You're a Southside boy, huh?
Yeah.
All right, this one's for Darren Lilly. He wants you to sign it to Darren. He spells it D-A-R-R.
D-A-R-R-I-N.
I-N. Yep, and then just your signature there. Darren Lilly's from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis.
All right. He asks, is there any stories about that you have or memories of recording the Wrestle Rock Rumble? Any members of that?
Well, I remember doing it.
Okay.
And it was interesting because I was doing it against Scott Ledoux, who was a prize fighter from up there, and was refereeing in the AWA. And he was a good guy, Scott Ledoux. We had some differences, and we had a hell of a match. I mean, the match I had with Ledoux, he did really great. And, but the Wrestle Rock Rumble was funny. I thought I did pretty good, but some of the guys I thought were pretty silly. But that's got to be a classic. You know? It was the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Head of its time. All right. This next one, and we're going to sign this in gold. Wants to put to Ryan, R-Y-A-N. This is for Ryan Watson, also in the UK.
To Ryan?
Yep, to Ryan, R-Y-A-N.
R-Y-A-N.
You could write the living legend. And of course, your signature.
Okay, that'll come out good. Boom.
There we
Perfect.
go. To Ryan, living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Ryan has asked your favorite moment as a commentator in WCW.
You know, there's one moment that, yeah, there's a bunch of them, but one quickie. We were doing a commentary, you know, and everything was live. We went to a break, and then one of the producers, Annette, came running by going, "Oh my God, I think Scott Hall's coming out when we come back on live." And I'm going, "Oh God." And I said, "Annette, get me a toothpick." And she looked at me and said, "Just get me a toothpick," because we only had 2 or 3 minutes of commercial. So she runs off, and she comes back, and she hands me a toothpick. Because I know Scott, I know it was a stupid thing. So I got the toothpick hidden in my hand, and I'm sitting there waiting for the idiot to come out. And sure enough, we come on live. Out comes Scott Hall, and he's giving me the evil eye look, and he takes his toothpick out of his mouth and flicks it at me, right? And I went, and then start picking my teeth with it, like I caught it in midair, and Scott's face, Scott went like, I mean, he couldn't believe I caught the thing, but it was a complete rib on him, so I never forgot that one.
That's a good one. All right, this one, he has a little bit to add here, so you may want to start on the upper left-hand side. This is for Jason Blackburn. Start off with to Jason.
To Jason.
And you put, take a one-way trip to Larryland.
To Jason. And don't come back. Take
right.
a one-way.
Trip to Larryland. And we are currently have in the auction, we have this really neat insert to a program, lineup card, 1979.
What do I do? Take
And
it.
then put your signature right there.
Here, okay.
It's official lineup card for New Haven, Connecticut, 1979. Larry wrestled Spirus Aragon on that show. Current high, and this one was for Jason Blackburn. And then the current high bid on that right now is $20 to Daniel Bessels. And just a reminder, Larry will sign this piece for you, the winning bidder. We're going to let this go for about 6 more minutes.
You know, Spiros had an old trick, and I stole it from him. He used to go in the corner when the ref wasn't looking and untie the turnbuckle. And then if he could get you in the right position, he'd take you in that corner, he'd pull down the turnbuckle and smash your face into the metal bolts that are behind the turnbuckle in those days. And that was something like later on when people were hating me that I stole from Spiros. I liked that. So,
Yeah.
so I stole it from him.
That's good. All right, Jason's also asked, who is your favorite tag team partner? I know you said you prefer to work as a singles competitor.
Yeah, I preferred the single. I mean, Grillo was a great guy, but then most of my career I liked doing the single stuff. But then at the end, like about 90, 91, I was getting about 40-ish and had a couple of knee surgeries. But I still felt good and wanted to go. But then they tagged me up with Arn. Me and Arn wound up tagging as the enforcers. And Arn was great. And I enjoyed teaming up with Arn. I mean, in fact, if Bill Watts wasn't running the company into the ground shortly after that, the tag team probably would have went on longer. Because when me and Arn walked out, I mean, the place, you know, people blew the roof off the place. It was that old school feeling where they really hated you. We clicked, and I really enjoyed teaming with Arn.
All right, this next piece is for Derek Walters. He picked up this 11 by 17. I want you to write to Derek, D-E-R-E-K.
To Derek. Derek.
EK. All right. He wants you to put two-time AWA champ.
2 times.
And of course,
I got it.
beautiful signature. All right, Derek, we've signed it live for you. Derek just wanted to let you know he thinks you're one of the all-time greats.
Well, thank you, Derek. I appreciate it.
All right. This one's from Michael Blanton. I'm going to give you some help here with this, the last name. So it's to the Blanton family. So it's, I'll spell that for you when you.
To the
Blanton. It's BLANTON. And then family. And then, of course, your signature.
Okay, I can do that.
Michael Blanton, Indiana, Black Label Pro promoter.
Indiana?
Yep.
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago when I was about 12, about 10 or 11. Then we moved to Crown Point, Indiana, because my dad worked for U.S. Steel.
that's
I
where
don't
he's
know if
from.
Crown Point is near that, but
Yeah, he's in Crown Point, Indiana. Right?
Crown Point?
Yeah.
I used to live there
Yeah.
for about a year, and then he got transferred to Pittsburgh.
All right, next one's going to be Samuel Russell. Let's see which one we have. We have this one right here. Just your signature on this one. This is Samuel Russell in Portland, Oregon.
Samuel.
It's just your signature there.
I started to write
That's
an
right.
S.
I threw you off there.
You know,
There we go.
just my name.
Just your name.
Okay.
All right.
That was
There's
easy.
Samuel, Portland, Oregon. We're going to drive this back to Charlotte, get it in the mail. All right, we've got 3 minutes left on this auction. It's currently the high bidders with James McCone. He's at $35. There we go. A reminder, in 3 minutes, we're going to put Larry's last
Oh,
trumps
God.
ever up for sale.
Yeah,
Let that go to the biggest fan we have out here. All right, this one, if you just sign your signature.
I can do that.
Yep, just your signature. Sign this one, go into Big Bob Satin and
Big Bob. I got a kid named Bob, too.
Sedalia, Missouri. There we go, Big Bob. Sign that for you. All right, next one is, this one's going to go to Lance. Lance Dorr in Minnesota. He said if you could put two Lance, Lance, L-A-N-C-E.
To Lance.
Put Wrestling's Living Legend. And then just put Hall of Fame and the year. And if there's any room left, go ahead and put your signature down.
Of course, there is.
All right, Lance Dorr
There you go.
from Orlando to Minnesota. There you go.
It's going to get cold soon up in, I lived there a few years. I couldn't believe how cold it could get up there.
All right, this is now on a 30-second clock. Is James McCone still a high bidder?
Yes, sir.
All right, James, looks like this may end up with you. We're going to give you 30 seconds. Anybody last minute? James is a high bid of 35, so we bid in $5 increments. $35.
Going once.
So, Larry, we didn't tell you, so if you look over here at our monitor, see, I just picked up the piece of paper. So
Yeah.
that's what the fans see. So they,
Oh, okay.
whatever we say and do, they take some about 30 seconds.
I was going to say, because I moved, but then I didn't move on TV.
Right,
Okay,
right.
good.
So we're dealing with the Facebook lag. So it's
Oh.
live, but you know we got to account for the lag. So
Oh, there's a lag. I didn't know.
yeah, so when I put it on a 30-second countdown for James, they didn't see what I just said for 30 seconds. So that's why 30 seconds really isn't 30 seconds.
Now we're getting somewhere.
All right. All right, but it looks like if I've given everybody a chance, 30 seconds, we'll just do the extra 10. I'll give it a 10, a 9, an 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Looks like still holds up, James. James McCone, glad to say you are the winner. Beautiful piece. Appreciate your interest in this and the history. We're going to send you an invoice right now. If you'll go ahead and pay this one, and then let us know how you want the living legend Larry to sign this one. If you want to take our suggestion and put this ballpoint pen so it won't bleed through, if you want us to sign it with a Sharpie, however you want it signed, we're going to do it for you. So there we go. I'll put that to the side, and as promised, it's 2:01. We're going to now put this one on the clock, Larry.
Oh, God.
We're going to give this one a little bit of time. This beautiful last ever piece of
Which
your
I didn't even know I
wrestling
had.
gear. Larry Zbyszko trunks. Gorgeous. Simple, but sophisticated.
Yeah,
right?
they're gonna get lost, and my kids will wind up throwing it away when I die. So I'd rather have a fan have stuff and
All right.
remember. But that's it. I mean, that's
This is it. There's no more gear hiding in your closet. This is
nothing.
All right.
That is
So,
it.
as always, we're going to start this at $5. If I don't like the bids, you know, there's a chance Michael might join in on this one. So, here we go. We got the living legend, Larry Zbyszko's
Should I sign my ass or no?
if they want you to sign your ass, we're going to sign your ass. All right. So, of course, this starts at $5. We'll put this to the side. We'll sign a few more of these on camera that have come in. Reminder already, a $50 bid comes in. I'm sure it's going to go way up from there. All right, this one's going to go to one of our regulars with a gold pen. This is going to be to Daniel Bessels. He wants you to put "To Rockin' with Dan."
To Rockin' with Dan?
Yep,
And
that's his go-to on all his inscriptions. "To Rockin' with Dan."
And that's it?
No, we got a little more, but let's start with "To Rockin' with Dan."
I'm trying to figure out where to put it.
Start on the left.
Yeah.
"To Rockin' with Dan."
To Rockin'.
Just Rockin
Yeah. Rockin'
with Dan.
with Dan.
And then on this side, put Hall of Fame 2015. And then, of course, your signature. Daniel wants to know
Looks good.
what it was like and what were your memories of being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in that particular class.
God, you know, good question, Dan. I'm glad people don't ask me that a lot.
First
know
time,
what?
right?
It was the strangest thing because I really didn't write nothing down. I just wanted to go out and really just tell a story. It was just a dream come true for me. To be, you know, I always wanted to be like my hero, and then here I am and being inducted by my hero after everything that went down over the years. And I remember I went out and said a couple of things, and then the place is full of 18,000 people. I'm looking up, but in the very front rows were all the wrestlers and the guys. I mean, Dusty was there, Mean Gene was there, Randy Orton was there, Cena was there. And it was the first time I'm looking at the boys, and for some reason, Sam's, and I looked back at the crowd, and I said to myself, what the hell did I just say? And I totally blanked out. And I think in the back, one of the guys was like saying, oh, gotcha, we pull him off the stage. But I blanked out, but I went into a higher dimension. This is gonna sound weird, but the energy hit me, and I remember being escorted off the stage after what I said, and I did not remember most of what I said. It was really a unique experience, and it was weird because I felt so bad, like I'd let everybody down and this and that, and then Vince came running out. I said, sorry, Vince, I blanked out. And he went, Larry, you were in the moment. That's what I wanted. And he realized that I'd left. But the things it came from the heart and from a higher dimension. And what I said at the end was true, because if it wasn't for the fans, there wouldn't be us. And I think that the WWE universe is what's awesome. And I really want everybody's dream, because life is a dream. And we're here on a temporary, vehicle, this body, which is natural to leave someday, hopefully in a long time. But it's a dream we carry on in our soul forever. So have a good one.
That's awesome. All right, We're gonna sign one more, and then we're gonna sign this lineup card for James McCone. This one's for,
Use the blue one?
this one actually, they asked, normally we do, good memory.
Okay.
He actually asked specifically for a gold on this one.
Okay.
So we're gonna follow his instructions. So he puts to Chris,
Two, Chris.
and then a living legend. And of course, your signature. So this is for Christopher Gillers in Milledgeville, Georgia.
Milledgeville. Haven't heard that for a while. That used to be, when we worked that territory, you heard that a lot because that's where the crazy house was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then just your signature.
Yeah, like I said, we just escaped from Milledgeville.
All right, Christopher, there you go. Signed it live for you. He's asked your thoughts on Chris Jericho.
Jericho, I mean, he's still going good. He was, I mean, he was good. He was like a natural, you know. There's not too many of them. I mean, the only thing about Chris, you know, I thought was maybe back from the days I came from, wasn't that super big. Mm-hmm. But the size, you know, of the wrestlers over the years kind of went down a little bit. And they did a lot more than we used to do, too. God bless. And Chris is still going, and he's doing good, and he's one of the guys that can talk good. So, no, I think Jericho's very good.
All right, here we go. We're going to sign this for James McCone. He has taken our advice. Huh? Yeah, well, I'll make sure it's. There we go.
The perfect pen. We have
Yep,
the perfect
well,
pen.
So he has asked if you can put two James.
Where we're at now.
Put two James
Two James.
from Larryland.
Two James.
And then you put your signature. Maybe put Hall of Fame 2015, just to,
Make it official.
yeah, looks beautiful. Thanks
Yeah, came out
so
good.
much. That came out nice. This is more than just a picture. This is a one-of-a-kind lineup card. Beautiful piece. James, congratulations. I know this was your first auction win. You're a regular customer, but first time you won an auction. So very proud of you, James. Stuck it out. You are the winner. Going to bring that back home to North Carolina. All right. Next one is going to be for Steve Hamed. He just your signature and the gold sharp.
I can do that. Sounds easy.
Steve is Roanoke, Virginia.
I'm home of Tony Atlas, I think. I took Tony flying with me one time, the little plane, scared the hell out of him. He screamed the loudest of all the guys.
Yeah, he was telling us you not only did he have a Cadillac, you used to drive a small plane to some of the shows.
Well, yeah, I was a private pilot. I flew little planes all over the place. I got sick of sitting in a car for hours and hours. I'd be home at midnight, and the other guys be rolling in 4 in the morning.
And you said that back then you could rent a private plane for $40 an hour. I can't
Yeah.
even imagine. It's just
Yeah, $40 an hour for a
here's
Piper
the
one.
key, Larry. Just take it. Just bring her
for
back.
a Piper 151, and you know that was the price of gas too. It's probably like 35 cents a gallon back then.
Crazy.
Now, yeah, I don't even want to know what they cost now.
All right, this one's being signed for Rich Wellington. If you put to Rich, R-I-C-H.
Which side should I start?
Start right there. To Rich.
Rich.
And he has
CH.
a very clever personalization. If you put nobody likes you either.
Too rich. I like that. Nobody likes you. How do you spell either?
E-I-T-H-E-R.
Okay.
And then we'll put your signature on this side.
There.
Put your signature there. Want to remind everybody that this concludes our fiscal week. This is the last thing. We had such a week, Larry. We started this on Tuesday. We had a signing with Christian Cage on Tuesday back in Charlotte. We got in the car, came down here. We did kind of similar thing here with Kenny Omega on Thursday night. Yesterday we did Deanna Parazza. And then, so our fiscal week closes today. Therefore, if there's anything that you want now, you need to go to highspotsauctions.com, Grab it now. We cannot add anything more. We are closing off. Once we end this stream with Larry, we're closing off the fiscal week.
The big finale?
You're the finale.
Oh, my God.
Nothing else can be added to any invoices for this week. But good news is, on Monday, we started all over again, and we'll start a new fiscal week. Rich Wellington, we signed it live for you. This one's headed out to your hometown. All right.
Yeah, next week, October 6th, is Bruno's birthday. It's been stuck in my head.
That's a date you'll always remember.
Yeah.
All right, this one's for Brandon Vincent. He just asked if you could put greatest NWA Western States champ. You don't need to put Brandon's name. Just
No
put,
Brandon?
Nope. Just put greatest NWA Western States champ.
Okay. The greatest NWA Western States.
champ. And just to give you an update on these trunks, still at a bargain. High bid is going to Dean Archer at $155.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure they're not going to end there, Larry.
Western State
Greatest
champ?
NWA Western States champ. Yep, just put champ. And then on the right side, over here, if you put WWE Hall of Fame 2015, and then your signature.
No. Classic.
There you go. Brandon, we signed it live for you. Thank you so much. All right, next one. It's going to be for Jeff Freer. We could put to Jeff.
To Jeff. And spell that.
And then add the living legend, Larry Zbyszko.
Make it look good. Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome. All right, Jeff is in the UK. We're going to get that in a box headed your way. He wanted to also let you know he was a very big fan of your commentary.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And we're in the
I
middle
came up with some good stuff. I mean,
You did. We're in the middle of bidding on your last ever trunks that you own. This is the last
God.
pair of ring gear. Currently, Timothy Kilkenny
That's it.
is in the lead at 165. We got about 15 more minutes to go in this auction. This is it, guys. You'll never see another ring-worn piece of Larry's. This is the end of Larry Land's wrestling gear. No more. This is the
That's it.
last piece that he pulled out of his closet. Didn't even know he had it.
did you? Yeah, not until the Hall of Fame. I was searching. You know, and it was in a box in the attic. I mean, I said, "You got to be kidding! This whole thing."
All right, so we have, next one's going to be for Daniel Brewer. This one's going to be in gold, to Daniel.
To Daniel. D-A-N.
D-A-N-I-E-L.
I thought it was that. That's
If
why.
you could add the living legend, and then of course your signature. Daniel's one of our hometown boys back in North Carolina.
Yeah. And I got married twice in Charlotte.
Twice in Charlotte.
Yeah.
huh? Maybe
Two
the
different
third-
women.
Maybe the third time's in Charlotte.
Now I'm done.
All right, here we
There you
go.
go.
Daniel, signed it live for you. We'll bring this back home. Get it in the mail for you.
There we go. We just got a high bidder, Bobby Hawkins, at $300.
Bobby, bringing it. Bobby Hawkins at $300. He's moving the needle quickly.
That's
None
the
of this-
last of it.
None of the $5 increments. Bobby brought us up to $300. Still a steal for the very last pair of trunks that
last
Larry has.
Those are the ones I wore when I wrestled Scott Hall, Bischoff, and Regal. And
So for people that remember, you know, maybe they were a little too young, they don't remember your stuff with Bruno, and they do remember the stuff with WCW. This would have been the WCW era stuff. These are the trunks you wore on all the famous Nitro and pay-per-views.
yeah. My last thing, and I'd rather have a fan have it than I'm winding up in a garbage someday.
Well, I don't think it was ever going to end up in the garbage.
No,
All right, so this one's for Todd Satterfield. Todd wants it to say to Todd,
to Todd.
and then put living legend. Sign your name. And if you just add the Hall of Fame 2015 to the bottom of that one, that'll complete it for Todd.
Yeah, it was good.
There you go, Todd. Todd's also asked your favorite Ric Flair story.
Oh, God. You know, I never really hang out with the Nature Boy because I never went to bars.
That's probably why you look so good, right?
Yeah, I never drank, and went to bed and avoided all the bar scene because there was usually fights or the Samoans would be killing somebody. But I could tell one story. I don't know how much time it was a classic. It was a classic. I was out with Flair one night. Me, Flair, Kevin Sullivan, a doctor who had a limo company in his big white limo, the limo driver, and a little guy named Gary Juster. Back in WCW days, Gary was like a little office guy. To make a long story short, we're in Greektown, and by the time we get back to the big limo, Flair's been drinking, and Flair is passed out in the back seat. Me and Kevin Sullivan, Gary get out of this big limo by the hotel, and there's a guy on the other side of the street who sees this big limo. And he goes, oh, yeah, and he sees the white hair and the wrestler. He goes, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. And Kevin says something to him because Kevin loved to fight. So this guy, and he must have been on some kind of weird drugs. He comes staggering across the street trying to grab Sullivan. And Sullivan would always take his thumb and stick it in your eye and knock the guy's eye out. And that would usually stop the fight. You know, so.
I would imagine so.
Anyway, so this guy comes over and Kevin shoves his thumb in this guy's eye and the guy pulls his head back and I can see it and the one eyeball looks like 3 times bigger than the other eye. And the guy hits himself in the eye and like it goes back in. And he grabs Sullivan and Sullivan hooked him in a headlock. And then the guy's almost going out and says, okay, I had enough. So Sullivan let go. The guy who was a big, tall guy grabbed him in a headlock, front face lock. And I'm going, oh, God. And the guy's standing there, and I'm looking at Gary Juster, and I'm going, oh, but let's just end this. So I walk up behind the guy who's got Kevin, and I kick him from behind in the balls so hard it lifted him off the ground. Nothing. Didn't feel a thing, this guy. I looked at Gary, I said, well, that's my best shot. Meanwhile, the cops show up, they grab the guy, and they're beating him up with the slapjacks and throw him in the car, and he's still screaming, the heavyweight champion of the world. The funny bit was, now we get out of the thing, our bag, we go into the hotel, it's a big fancy Hilton or something with the sliding doors, and I go in and I check in with Gary, and here comes Kevin Sullivan checking in. Now, Kevin's shirt is ripped. He's got blood dripping down his face. Hair's what he's got left of it is messed up. And he's checking into his room, and the people are looking at him like, what in the hell have you been through? And then they said, and then Kevin says, oh, and we need a room for the heavyweight champion of the world, Ric Flair. And the doors slide open, and the bellboys have a dolly. Because Flair's passed out, so they got Flair on a dolly, you know, with the suit on and the hair. He looks good, but he's just out cold, and they're wheeling his body in to the hotel on this dolly, and I guess that was about like the every night kind of gimmick. But that was the one night I was out with them. It was just a complete cartoon.
Great. All right, next one is for Josh Horvat in Valparaiso, Indiana. If you could put that in, he said sign in gold.
Yeah, got gold.
You're gonna love this one. First of all, put to Josh on the left side there.
The left side?
Yep, left side to Josh.
To Josh.
All right, this may be my favorite personalization tonight. I want you to personalize it. I peeked through Bruno's hedges.
I did.
You want to put that one right there?
Yeah.
You've told that story before, but that
Well,
one,
it's
it's
the
a
truth,
wonderful
yeah.
story.
I was a stalker.
You got to get Bruno's attention somehow, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't help it.
So I peeked through Bruno's hedges.
Oh, shit. Did I spell that right? Through.
T-H.
That's not through.
No, that's right. Yep, that's through. T-H-R-O-U-G-H. You got it.
Okay. Oh, I messed it up. I should put Bruno's hedges here.
Put Bruno's right there.
Well, that is Bruno.
All right, you want to
Give me
start
another
over?
picture.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to
All right,
Josh to
Josh,
get
here
a
we
good
go.
one.
Let me give me Josh's here. Yeah, Josh.
I want-
We're going to get it right.
I
There
want
we
him to
go.
be perfect.
To
To
Josh.
Josh. I peeked.
I peeked through Bruno's hedges.
At least I spelled through right.
Get right.
Hedges is H-D.
H-E-D-G-E-S.
G-E-E-S. Okay,
And if you put
Bruno's.
living legend, Larry Zbyszko. All right, Josh, thank you for that great inscription.
It's the truth.
There we go. All right, next one. Let's see, beating up Bruno again.
Poor Bruno shouldn't have looked through his hedges.
There we go. Put this one to Ryan, R-Y-A-N.
Okay.
It's for Ryan Cuffle in Derby, Kansas. To Ryan. There you go. Living legend, Larry Zbyszko.
All right, that'll fit good. Boom.
There we go. We go Ryan. Ryan's also picked up this 11 by 17 art print.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
Can you put the living legend? Sign your name. You got WWE Hall of Fame 2015 on the bottom. There you go, Ryan. Thank you so much. I'm going to pack this up here in a few minutes, head to Charlotte, and we'll get this in the mail for you.
Head to Charlotte.
All right, next one's for Ryan Sustaina in Bryan, Texas. He wants you to put this one to Sammy.
To Sammy? That's it?
Nope, put to Sammy.
Okay.
And then over here, if you'll put welcome to Larryland. Yeah, welcome to Larryland. You got it.
All right.
Just sign your name.
Sign the name. Yeah, looks good to go.
There you go, Robert. Robert in Bryan, Texas. We signed it live. I'm going to make a last call here, right? We still up?
Are we
Last
up?
call for getting these in. We got a few more of these to go. Last call to make your opportunity to go to highspotsauctions.com. Pick up this 11 by 17 art print. It's a picture of you beating up on Bruno, Western States champ, time in AWA, the classic wide stance with Larry, and of course surrounded by the legends right there. Any of those available at highspotsauctions.com, either just for straight autographs or for personalizations, but we only have a few more minutes left for you to have that opportunity. And we have one more thing for an opportunity. It is about 6 minutes left before we close up the bids on this piece. Say goodbye to your last gear forever. Currently, the high bid is at Bobby Hawkins still. Bobby Hawkins at $300. Guys, $300 for Hall of Famers trunks. I know there's a little bit more. We're in Orlando, a little in Florida, a little more juice in the orange here. we could squeeze it a little harder. If anyone else out there wants to compete with Bobby Hawkins, you love Bobby. It's currently at $300. In the meantime, we'll sign a few more of these photos. This one's going to go to Vincent Rosa.
Vincent Rosa.
But he doesn't want his name, but he wants you to put, "You're going to Larryland."
You're going to Larryland.
Yep.
I stole that from the Griswold movies with the Wally World.
yeah, yeah.
I came up with Larry. You're going to Larryland to sign my name?
Yes, sir, that's it. Vincent's asked, where is your favorite place to get a cheeseburger?
My favorite place?
Yeah.
You know, I'm lazy and cheap, and I get coupons for Burger King, so I
So Burger King's your go-to?
Well, yeah, just close and easy. I get coupons, and I like the big cheeseburgers with the bacon on it.
Yeah, who needs a fancy $18 burger from a Marriott, right? Who needs an $18 burger?
Yeah,
Just
no.
go to Burger King.
Coupons.
All right. This one just needs your signature?
Okay, I can do that.
All right, there we go. Daniel Rayleigh and Kathleen Georgia, we signed it live for you. Thank you so much. All right, next piece is from Gary Wada. This is going to be put to Gary.
To Gary.
Gary lives in West Haven, Connecticut. We put living legend Larry Zbyszko.
Right, perfect.
All right, and if you just add Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame 2015. Gary's asked your memories of Roddy Piper.
Oh, God, Roddy. I mean, you know, I didn't really get a chance to know Roddy good because he was in the WWE a bunch and I was in the other territories. I met him one time when I was, I think, starting off in the 70s when I was up there, and we wound up in L.A. And I had a hell of a match with Chavo Guerrero, but Roddy was around that area to Seattle and the West Coast. And I met him, and Roddy was a great guy, fun guy to be with. And I think he used to have a boxing background, because Roddy, I mean, in those days, the fans would come at you. And Roddy had a good reputation. I used to like to watch him walk back, because a lot of times some guy would come at him, and all of a sudden, Roddy, boom, and he'd flatten them. So Roddy was a little tougher than he looked, you know, but yeah, but he was a good guy when I knew him. And it was fun watching him knocking people out.
All right, this one, just your signature. This one's going to go to Brandon Morgan in Porter, Indiana.
Just my signature?
Just your signature, yeah. All right, there we go. Brandon, signed it live for you. Absolutely last call, going to highspotsauctions.com. Get your opportunity to be part of Larryland.
Blue one?
Let's see. Yep, yeah, blue's great. You can just put to my pal Sean, S-E-A-N.
That's it?
No, we got a little more. To my pal Sean from your final AWA champion. So maybe up here. We got a little more room here. Put to my pal Sean.
Okay. How do you spell Sean?
S-E-A-N.
Okay. That's what I thought.
From your final AWA champion.
From your final.
AWA champion. And then just your signature. Sean lives in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Oh, yeah. I got a friend of mine up there, yeah. We used to do some wrestling up there some years ago. Winnipeg was a classic AWA town, too. Yeah, I used to like going to Winnipeg. It was a good setup there.
He asked if you had any memories or cool stories from AWA being in Winnipeg.
Well, actually, I'm pretty positive
Sean?
Winnipeg was the first time this new guy who came into the business, big guy, named Scott Hall, showed up.
Heard of him?
And it was funny because I was in Winnipeg and one of the guys, I forgot who it was, came up and said, oh, hey, we got you in a match against this new young kid, what's his name, Scott Hall. I said, okay. So then I looked and I said, well, which one is that? And I see coming down the hall, I'm going, Oh my God! I mean, Scott was big.
Yep.
And I saw that, so I'm this new guy who looks like Frankenstein, you know, good-looking guy, but big. So I was thinking, oh my God. And we had a classic match, and Scott tells a story about that match sometimes, but I won't say nothing. That was.
All right, this one's going to be for Charlie Watts, but I guess he's picking this up for a friend. Put to Tony.
To Tony.
And then just put living legend. And then your classic signature.
To Tony, living legend, classic signature. Easy to write big.
For sure. Here we go. Charles Watts. All right, this next one's for Todd Hardinson. Actually, Todd's picked up two, so we'll start with one. You got one for Eddie Cheslock? Okay. Eddie just made a comment, and I didn't see his come through. This is for Todd Hardinson. If you can put to Todd.
To Todd.
Yep. And then 2000 Hall of Fame, your name, we'll put your signature.
Okay.
Yep. And then
The Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame 2015. There we go.
And that was 5 years ago. Time flies when you're getting old.
All right, this one, let's do this one in blue.
Classic.
Yep. This one's to Todd.
To Todd.
And this one, if you put the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Todd got two pictures, and he also submitted two questions.
It shows up good on the shirt about the jeans. All right.
Todd asked, any Dangerous Alliance memories?
You know, not really, because I wasn't in it long. I mean, me and Arn were the enforcers, and I liked that team. And then when Bill Watts come along anyway, he turned it into this group, and I didn't like being in a group. I mean, you know, tagging with Arn would have been great, but that's what kind of, you know, stopped that. And it was kind of, and it's kind of like what led to the broadcasting for 10 years. Because the one thing I remember out of the Dangerous Alliance was the one match I had with stunning Steve Austin at the time, where he had some long hair. And I was really amazed, you know, from what he was when I did that to what the star he became and all that. So I'm really proud of him. You know, Steve's a great guy, too. But when I was in the group, I wanted to get out of it, and so I said to the TBS people, oh, my knee hurts. I think I need another scope. So I got my knee scoped, and I was home, you know, a couple months sitting around rehabbing the knee after the surgery. And I got a call saying, hey, can you come down and do us a favor and voice over one of these couple shows? Because Jesse Ventura was doing it, but he just quit and, or left or something. So I felt bad just getting paid doing nothing. So I went, yeah, okay, so I'll come down. So I went down and voiced over a couple of shows that they had. And after we got done, I didn't think nothing of it. The producer came running in the room saying, you're the greatest guy we've ever heard. And then that's when they offered me a hell of a deal. They go, would you like to do the broadcasting? And at first I'm thinking, God, I want to be like Bruno. I'm going to wind up being like Shivani. But so I said, yeah, okay. I mean, when the money they hit me with was ridiculous. It was more money than I was making wrestling.
Yeah,
So, but that's how the broadcasting started. It was just kind of like that, help them out, and they popped. And the last 10 years it was a gravy job. I loved it.
Awesome. And one question I did ask, since we do allow people to ask these questions, I didn't ask you about your memories of Stan Hansen. Daniel Brewer had asked that question. I forgot to ask him.
Well, Stan, I mean, I didn't see him a lot during my career because, we were all over the place. But it was interesting. The very first time I went to Japan was the very first time Stan Hansen was in Japan. Probably in the 70s sometime. And I met Stan there, and he was a good guy. But it was funny because without his glasses, he was blind as a bat. And Stan, one time, we were at a wrestling show in Japan, and Stan was walking out to the ring going, ee, and when he took his glasses off to go out, he'd fall over a chair, he couldn't see. He's going through the aisle, and some Japanese kid stands up and was saying something to Stan, and Stan stopped, and all of a sudden, a couple of seconds go by, and boom! Stan knocks this Japanese fan out. And he goes and does his match, which Stan was crazy, so it was running around. Didn't last long, and he comes back. And then, through the rest of the show, Hansen's walking up and back going, I feel bad. I feel bad that he knocked out this kid. So the show's over, the place is emptying out, and Stan looks out the door, and the guy and his girlfriend and a couple other people are left, they're getting ready to leave. Stan opens the door and he walks out, and he wanted to say he's sorry, even though he couldn't talk Japanese. He felt bad. And I'm watching him, and he goes up to the guy, and he's, I don't know what he's saying. And all of a sudden, a few seconds later, bam! He knocks the guy out again. Who knows what he said? But then he comes back. I said, I thought you felt bad. And so that was the first time I'm sure I had Stan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, finishing up here, we have just an autograph.
That's easy. I can
Yep.
do that.
This one's going to be signed for Mr. John Deans in New Jersey.
Should I?
Just your autograph.
Just my name?
Yep, just your autograph.
It's too simple.
We like the simple ones. There we go, John. And you think we're done on the auction? Are we there?
I think we're locked in.
All
We're
right.
locked in.
30 seconds it was Bobby Hawkins. Just give one more chance. This is at $300. Bobby Hawkins looks like he's going to take this home, but I'm going to give this the 30-second lag. We'll do one more personalization, and then we'll close it up, and then we'll send you an invoice, Bobby. This one is going to, there we go, with gold pennon. Just put the living legend and then your name. It's going to be signed for Tony Aragon in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah, it was interesting because doing the broadcasting for those 10 years really gave me access to, a couple more generations of younger
yeah.
fans.
Yeah.
So that was really
a blessing.
The living legend
Yep,
and then just my
your
name.
signature.
You got me thinking all these old things are popping in my mind.
There we go, Tony. We signed it live. All right, next one, just a signature on this Western States belt. Just Larry Zbyszko.
Just-
Yep.
Okay.
Signing this for you, Carlos Vinay in Valley Stream, New York. Appreciate
There
you
you
making
go.
a purchase. There you go, Carlos. All right, next one we have DeMarcus Smith.
D. Marcus?
Two, it's for DeMarcus, but put to Marcus, M-A-R-C-U-S.
To M.
M-A-R,
Yeah.
C-U-S.
C-U-S.
And put living legend, Larry Zbyszko.
There you go, Marcus.
Awesome. Marcus wants to know, did you have a favorite match that you called on Nitro?
Oh, God. Called a lot of them. And, I really don't know if I had a favorite one. I'd have to think about that for a while, because, you called
Yeah.
so many matches. I'm trying to think if I came up with one of my, classic lines.
Well, in the meantime,
Some of them, yeah, I mean, that
while
was a
you're
tough
thinking about it,
question, yeah, but.
this is going to Bobby Hawkins. Bobby Hawkins is the winner of this. $300. Bobby, we're going to send you an invoice right now. Go ahead and pay it, and then let us know how you'd like to have this signed. We'll sign this live. Great pickup. But you got a really good price on this one, $300 to Bobby Hawkins.
Remember one cool thing I said I liked? Me and Tony were hosting a pay-per-view of Legends in tuxedos, and I remember saying an old thing I heard where, you know, time fears only the pyramids and the legends of professional wrestling. So I like that line.
All right, this one just put, welcome to Larryland.
Welcome to
And then your signature. You'll just add the Hall of Fame 2015 at the bottom. This one's being signed for Ryan Adams in Chester, Virginia.
right. That's good.
Ryan has asked if you had any memories of your Starrcade 97 match. They all blend together?
Well, they kind of blend together. That's the one with Bischoff, right?
I think so.
I think so. The only thing in the back of my mind is I wish I would have beat him up more. I think they brought Bret Hart in as a special referee, and I didn't know that, so I didn't trust Bret that much. But I should have beat Bischoff up more. That's the only one regret.
All right, this one's being signed for Timothy Kilkenny. Just put to Timothy.
To Timothy. I have a kid named Timothy.
There you go. Wrestling right now.
Yeah,
Seen
he's
him
doing some
perform a few
stuff.
times. All right, put happy birthday.
Happy to Timothy. Happy birthday?
Yep. And then put living legend Larry Zbyszko.
You can only show this on your birthday, Timothy.
That's right. All right, there we go. Timothy's asked, did you win your fist wrestling match?
Fist?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
What's a fist wrestling?
Fist?
You know it?
I don't know. Do you know what it means?
No.
All right, good. But
But I will say I won.
There. When in doubt, just say you won. All right, this one's going to be signed for Ryan Perry. He just wants you to take a one-way trip down to Larryland. Take a one-way trip down to Larryland.
And then sign it?
And then sign your name.
Take a one. A good room way to rip.
This is for Ryan Perry in Knoxville, Tennessee.
To Larryland.
Sign your name. And then on the bottom, if you could put WWE Hall of Fame 2015. Thank you so much, Ryan. There we
good.
go. All right. Next one.
Still laughing about Hansen knocking out the chapter.
I know, that is funny. Twice.
Yeah.
All right, this is for Tanya McIntosh, also in the UK. Had a lot of UK orders today.
Yeah.
You can put to Tanya, Tania.
To Tanya.
And just on the right side, maybe put Larry Zbyszko.
Here.
Tanya's asked if you had a favorite person that you wrestled. I mean, I feel like the answer would be Bruno.
Well, Bruno was the favorite one, but there was a bunch of guys that were old smoothies that were really great in the ring. I wrestled, with, like, Slaughter and me had a good one. Nick Bockwinkel was easy. Me and Tommy Rich wrestled an hour one time. And I walked back, and Harley Race, and I wrestled Harley. He was great. And Harley said to me, he says, that was the greatest 1 hour, draw I've ever seen. There was another big, so Harley and Lou both gave me some good ones. Yeah.
All right, this one's for Danny Gregory. Just put to Danny.
To Danny.
Danny.
We got room
Put to Danny on the left.
on the left.
Yep. And put the living legend Larry Zbyszko.
Comes out
put Hall of Fame 2015. I think I've been corrected on, let's see.
Perfect.
Can you get clarification on Timothy Kilkenny's question? I think maybe I read it wrong, or, there you go, Danny.
First match.
Oh, first match.
Fist match. First match.
So memories of his
Oh,
first
no
match.
wonder the fist match.
Did I read it wrong, or did he misspell it? We don't know. All right. I'll assume I misread it, even though it might have been misspelled.
You know, my very first.
All right, well, good. It wasn't my error. It was your error, but we fixed it. First match.
Yeah, they say you never forget the first one. But the first match was weird because I was just starting out and Bruno was running little towns around Pittsburgh. So it was some high school in the wintertime, and high school building was packed. And I was supposed to wrestle first, so this is my first match. And one of the guys, I think it was a guy from Canada. I can't remember his name. But I was supposed to wrestle first, and he go, okay, you ready, kid? I go, no, I can't go, I'm too nervous, I'm too psyched up. Let me take a break. Okay, you'll be on second. Okay, I'll be on second. So I'm pacing back, get ready, so now I'm gonna be on second, get ready for my first match. And I was strong then, I was benching 465 and all that stuff. And I remember when they, said, okay, go, and I opened the door and walked out into the crowd. And the crowd staring at me because they really didn't know me. I wasn't on TV yet after the first match. And the first thing I realized was, my God, everybody is dressed because it's winter and I got coats and clothes on. And I felt naked. The first thing that hit me was, I got these little tights on, pair of boots, and that's it. The first thing that hit me was, God, I feel naked. I'm in front of these people, my first match. And the guys in the ring already. And as strong as I was then, I could hardly get up the steps, those sweet little box steps to the ring, like my legs were weak. I was so nervous. And the match didn't last long. I think I did boom, 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 and I picked him up and put him in Bruno's finish. That probably hurt the poor bastard. I was so nervous. But the first thought was walking out in the crowd going, my God, I'm naked. It just felt weird.
All right. A few more left. I think we have 5 more to go. This one's going to be for Aaron Williams. If you can put 2 Aaron.
Now that's, okay, spell it.
It's A-A-R-O-N.
A-A-R-O-N.
Larry Zbyszko. And then add the tagline, Hall of Fame 2015. Aaron lives in Mineral Point, Missouri. There we go. Thank you very much, Aaron. All right. Now, my favorite name to say, this is going to be J-O-D. We call him the J-O-D, like the L-O-D. We call him the J-O-D. Put 2, the J-O-D. So it's to the. Yep. J period, O period, D period.
J period, O period,
D period.
D period.
Just like the L-O-D, Legion of Doom.
Okay.
He's the J of Doom.
J of Doom.
There we go. From The Legend of Larryland. Jay saw your son, Timothy, right?
Oh,
Timothy
yeah,
wrestle,
Timmy's one of them, yeah.
saying what are your thoughts? And he probably followed his career just a little bit.
Well, a little bit. You know, it was an interesting question because
There you go, Jay.
Tim was running around the country doing stuff and trying stuff, and all of a sudden he comes up to me and never anything about wrestling. Then all of a sudden he comes up and he's like 31 years old or something. He goes, you know, I think I want to be a wrestler. I'm going, oh my God, now? Now you want to be a wrestler? You couldn't have told me when you're 19 and you could have been trained and bigger. But at the same time, a couple of things were happening. Was the business was changing in the ring, and the guys that we see today are fantastic athletes, and they do amazing things. But it's dangerous. They're doing dangerous things. And I was scared of him getting into the business at that time, because starting at 31, all the training and putting on the weight. But then doing the things they're doing, I didn't want him to be hurt. I know what a brutal business it is. And at the same time, Scott Hall's son, Cody, was starting. So Cody and Tim were training at the same little school, and me and Scott would be there a little bit helping them. And Cody, I mean, for making my point, poor kid, but he already broke his neck like 4 or 5 years after he started. And something I didn't want to happen to Tim. Sure. And the way it worked out was, Tim's got a good job, and he wrestles on the weekend, and he likes it. Now he's like 37 or 38. And it just, boy, it's kind of late to really do anything. I mean, if he was like 6'8".
Yeah, well, if you're doing it because you love it, there's no
Yeah,
problem. He's got a good job. He's a
Yeah.
weekend warrior, having a little fun on the
Yeah,
side.
have fun, but just don't get hurt, because the stuff they're doing nowadays, we wouldn't even have thought of, you know. Let me get on the top turnbuckle, I'm gonna do 3 somersaults, crash through 3 tables, and then that ladder, that's just brutal, brutal.
Larry, if that would have been a thing, you would have been right in the middle of it back in your day. You would have.
God.
All right. This one's going to be for Robert Gavalis. He just wants you to write, "Welcome to Larryland."
Welcome to Larryland?
Yep.
We can do that.
And then put a living legend, the beautiful signature, the living legend. Just add WWE Hall of Fame. He's actually asked you to put the date 3/28/15.
3,
28,
28,
15.
15.
There we go, Robert. We got her done. Thank you so much. All right. This one is, he wants 2 of these. This
Two
is
big
for
ones.
Eddie Cheslock. We found him. We found you, Eddie.
Eddie's found.
Eddie is, probably remember Eddie is a photographer during the Crockett era. You just put,
Oh, okay.
Your signature, just.
Just
no
Larry
per- yeah,
Zbyszko.
Right.
We can do that, Ed.
All right, just put Hall of Fame 2015. There we go. If you're on this one, if you're right, living legend, Larry Zbyszko. And then Hall of Fame 2015. There we go, Eddie. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
All right, and I think this might be our last one of the day, right? Just do a final check. All right, then we're gonna end this one with the legend,
The
right here.
classic.
Right here, this is gonna be for Tyree Davis. Now, he's got a nice inscription here. He does, "Time fears only pyramids and legends."
I just said that.
That's why he bought
knew
it.
that. All
He just
right.
bought it because you
Yeah.
said it, so.
So he wants me to, so I
That's
should,
right. Time fears only
should I put
pyramids.
2?
No, just put time fears.
Time fears
Only pyramids.
only the pyramids. How do you spell pyramids?
You put PY, see, and I'm not sure that's, is it PRY or PY?
Pyramid. no, it's
PYR,
PYR.
AMIDS,
AMIDS.
Pyramids and Legends.
Time fears.
Only pyramids and
Time
legends of
fears
pro
only
wrestling.
the pyramids. And
Legends
the legends.
of pro wrestling.
Of pro wrestling.
There you go, and just
Sign it.
my famous Larry Zbyszko signature. Tyree asked if you ever bronzed your bootlaces.
You know what? I never bronzed my bootlaces. An interesting story about the bootlaces. And this was back in when I started in Vancouver, because I had the boots and you had the laces. But laces were like laces, and every night we put them on. So the laces wouldn't last long. And the boots were high, so sometimes it was hard to find long laces at a shoe store. And the one guy gave me a tip. He said, Dad, don't use laces, use parachute cord.
There you go. Those aren't
So I got, parachute cord was like, the perfect kind of thing. And I made the parachute cord and cut them. And I used that one pair of parachute cord for my entire career.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm trying to see on that picture with those boots if that's good. But I used them like mainly like for most, when I got new boots, I would put the parachute cord in them, and they lasted like forever.
Larry, this has been amazing. We love the stories.
Oh, I could do this all day. It's fun with the fans.
But our time has come to a close. We're going to let everybody get back to their Saturday. We're going to let you get back to, we know you don't play. We'll let you get back to your golf game, but we know, we're not golfing today. But it's so great to sit down with a living legend like yourself.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
So glad that you have your happiness, you got your health, and you're a real treasure to us as wrestling fans. And we appreciate you meeting up with us today. And we want to remind everybody that this closes our fiscal week. Right, we ended it with Living Legend.
The Z, that's the last in the
A to
alphabet,
Z,
so it
we're
makes
at
sense.
Z. We're at Z. So on Monday at 12 noon, we're going to put up all the pre-orders for our next week, which is a really busy week. We have Tuesday, we have Hornswoggle. You know Hornswoggle?
Oh, I remember Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle. We have Wednesday, we have Jurassic Express, the trio from AEW. And then on Friday, we have Tessa Blanchard and Husband Daga. So we went from a really amazing busy week to another really amazing busy week for next week. And with that, we'll call it a close. Thank you once again for your support.
We'll give them the big L.
Give them the big L on the way out.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.